clock has struck 3 a.m. The witching hour has begun. Are you ready to be initiated into the Black Magic Coven? Join your sisters, Andrea,
Marisa,
Kaleigh,
Liz,
as we meet to discuss the macabre, creepy, and sinister. We call upon the Four Corners to summon a Fresno Nightcrawler, aka the Fresno Alien, aka Walking Pants, not to be confused with fictional superhero Kurt Wagner, who debuted in Marvel's giant-sized X-Men #1, or the 2014 thriller starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Onto our cryptid hunt. So, ladies, have you ever met a Fresno Nightcrawler?
but I wish.
Yeah. The videos are, just the images I've seen of them are so eerie, but there's a lot of like really fun artwork out there of them that make them to be adorable, and now I want to befriend them.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I think like at first when you watch the video, creepy, but then like you said, Kaleigh, there's so many cute little pictures of them and I just want to cuddle them.
And they don't seem like the videos, they don't seem like, I don't know, they're just like living their life, you know?
Yeah.
They're not doing anything.
yeah.
Well, and they're kind of like tiny little guys, right? Like they're like 2 to 4 feet tall. And they don't seem to have arms in any of the images I've seen. Just like really long legs and like a little head and little tiny eyes. They're kind of adorable.
Yeah, this definitely was not what I was imagining, because Fresno Nightcrawler, obviously the first thing that pops into my head is Jake Gyllenhaal or Gyllenhaal, because I fucking love that movie. But like, I looked up this cryptid and I was not expecting like walking pants, and I was like, that's hilarious. This is like the silliest thing ever. But then when I actually saw the video and the footage, it was really disturbing. The way that they walk and their movements was eerie as hell. So like, I don't know if I'd really want to see one. I don't know. Like the art, yeah, I saw some cute artwork that's really funny and stuff, but like, I don't know. It was really weird. This is something that would be like, you know, a monster on an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's like so ridiculous, but it is kind of creepy too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and when they walk, it's almost like their knees are going backwards.
Yeah.
But they've got the like, I don't know, they're like almost flowy. And I was having a hard time figuring out if I think like they have like skin flaps like over their bones, or if they're actually wearing pants.
Dude,
or if they are pants.
The first time I watched the video, I was at work, and this was before I even knew we were doing an episode on it. And I just like proceeded to call every single one of my coworkers over to be like, you have to watch this video. Have you seen this? It's insane.
Yeah.
And everyone's initial reaction was like, that's weird. And then you watch it again and they're kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. How does it move that way?
Right. It looks very, very strange when it moves. It's like almost like a puppet suspended, but drunk at the same time. Like pushing against gravity. Like there's so many things going on with the way that its movement is. It's very strange.
And it also kind of like glides.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really seem like it's moving so smoothly, even though its joints are doing weird things. It's weird.
Well, and even the pant aspect, it's like, okay, if these are pants, they look like pantaloons, not like skinny jeans or even Jinkos, but like...
I immediately thought of gauchos. Do you guys remember when those were popular?
Or like the ones that, kind of like the ones that MC Hammer wore, you know? What were those called? I forget like the style of pants those were.
Harem pants?
Yeah, but like a little bit longer, but they have that like saggy like thigh area, you know, with like more space. Yeah. I don't know. It was really weird. I don't think I'd be as intimidated by it if they were more like Jinkos based looking, like a little bit whiter.
Like the bottoms are kind of wet and torn.
Yeah, and like there's like a silver chain attached to its wallet. But like the style they are, the way it looks now is just very confusing and odd for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So like in 100 years, the lore is going to change, and instead of something like this, it is going to be like a pair of like trap pants and Jinkos. Like going after you in the
Yes.
woods.
And like honestly, that does make it a little creepier for me because like the chains would be like
Jiggling.
Yes.
So not many people have actually seen these guys. It seems like they only show up mostly on videotape, and there was only 2 tapes really that like seemed like legit. The one in Fresno, and then some footage from Yosemite, and also some stuff that a guy said he saw in Poland on a video, but there's no actual video of it, so that was kind of suspect.
Is the Yosemite one the one with it looks like there's an even smaller one walking
Yes.
behind it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is that a baby?
Yeah,
what is that?
I don't know.
It's like
Like-
little child that's going for a walk at night with it.
Yeah, it's like, do just following my mom.
So weird.
Well, and I love how like unaffected they are. Like they're not like seeming to really even notice that they're being watched, and they
Yeah.
don't seem to care so much. Yeah, like they're just out taking a walk.
Oh yeah, they're strolling. They're like real chill.
Yeah, that's why I think I like them so much, because they just seem so unbothered by anything around them.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like they don't really seem like they're gonna come get you. I mean,
Right, yeah.
No.
They just kind of-
little do we know their mouths are huge, you just can't see
I know
them.
that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, they'll open up and it's all teeth or something.
Yes. That makes me think
Oh,
of
God.
those like cute little gutter mushrooms in Mom and Dad Save the World. It's like a really, really bad 90s movie. Do y'all remember that?
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh,
Oh my God. Okay. I'll need to like watch that sometime. It's so ridiculous. But like this mom, God, what is his name? John Lovitz is in it.
oh yeah.
And like this mom and dad are kidnapped and taken to his planet, and basically the dad is trying to save the mom and save the world too, and it has all these ridiculous little creatures in it, and there's these little mushrooms in the sewer that he's it's like, oh, you're so adorable, and they open up and they just have these gnarly teeth and they start attacking him and chasing him and everything. And it would definitely be like a situation like this. Like you think they're just harmless little pant people, and then they would just like attack you and gulp you up.
Little pant people.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
you have me at
just a
John
little
Lovitz.
pant person.
Yeah.
I know. Ugh.
So for me, I think the first video that was shot in Fresno, this guy named Jose, like he thought his dog was going crazy at night for some reason, and he didn't know if it was like somebody trying to break into his house or there was an animal or what. So he puts up a surveillance camera, and this is like 2010, I believe. And he gets the image of the first one where the dudes are walking through his backyard. And Fact or Faked, which was a TV show, I believe on Sci-Fi. I could be saying that wrong.
Yeah, I think it was.
Covered that video, and they determined it unexplainable, trying to recreate it with puppets, and they put a kid in like a white sheet, and they did a few different things, which I thought was interesting. And I personally think that first video, like the way they move and stuff, is a little creepier even than the second one.
Yeah.
That came out with footage from Yosemite. I think they do look a little different.
Yeah, I think they do too. That was my first thought. Their heads seem more like discernible. Because I feel like the
Right.
Fresno footage, you can just kind of make out that maybe there's a head, but it mostly just looks like pants are walking. But the Yosemite one, it looks like there's more of a head attached to legs. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
How like trustworthy is the second video?
So it hasn't, I don't think, had as much scrutiny as the first one did. I know several people have looked at it. A couple of the videos I found from people that like were trying to look and see if they could tell if it had been photoshopped or if there was any sort of like telltale signs of it being a faked video or actors. Everything's inconclusive, but no one has been able to recreate either of them in the way they move, or like especially in the second one with the little one in the background with the point of view. That kind of makes it harder to do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. And we got to remember too, even 10 years ago, technology wasn't what it is now. And so it was a little bit harder to do stuff like that than maybe today it might be a little bit easier.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Interesting.
Like stuff like this is always so like weird to me when there's just really like no explanation whatsoever. Like because you think like, especially today, like we live in 2020, like, you know, science is pretty evolved. Like a lot of our technology has evolved. You'd think there would be ways to like figure this stuff out. Like, and then when there's not, it's like, wow, like, will we ever make it to a point where we could figure out what these things are? Or is it just truly like never going to be solved? And I don't know, it's just creepy.
Not until we encounter them and they take over our planet.
Oh God, there's one outside my window right now.
What if they just like attach themselves to us and we're stuck wearing these like pant people aliens?
Maybe we already are and we don't know.
Oh no.
It's the 2020 finale is going to be us being taken over by Fresno Nightcrawlers.
we are the Nightcrawlers.
They've been patiently waiting for this moment.
As long as I get the comfy ones, like I could even opt out for like the Jinkos, just like not like the super uncomfortable ones, you know? Like I don't want bell bottoms or something.
Yeah, it's like they just all like force humanity to put them on like as pants, and they're like, now I control you, and like they like just make you walk around however they want you to.
Yeah. So I'm saying,
like, I want to know why more people haven't seen them. I think if it was like going to be a big hoax and people were trying to like make it a thing, which the guy that shot the original footage, he has since passed, but he was like adamant about not wanting to be famous, but just wanting to know what happened in his backyard. Mm-hmm. And like to the very end, you know, that it was not a hoax, like that it was not something he made, that, you know, he wouldn't even know how to start to make something like that. But living in an age where there are cameras everywhere, like, you know, deer hunters aren't catching these things on their hunting stands. People aren't camping and getting them on their phones. It's like very selective, it seems like, and just very few and far between that people are seeing them. So I think that part creeped me out a little bit. Yeah. It's just like kind of the lack of them showing
Especially
up.
now with like everyone has Ring doorbells in their front of their house that tracks any movement. But it was interesting. Yeah, and I watched that Fact or Fiction. I watched the segment with the Nightcrawler on it, and they were talking about, like, they interview Jose and talk to him. They're like, yeah, he was like seemed legit like scared talking about it, and genuinely seemed to want to know what it was, whether he did the prank or not. You know, could have been somebody else if it is a prank, but it was interesting.
Yeah,
and
even
I think a lot of to something that surfaced shortly after the videos was a woman from New Jersey found some photos of these wooden statues that are still in an unknown location, which I don't understand, like with the internet, how nobody has figured out where these things are. But they're giant wooden carvings that have, like, they look eerily similar to the Nightcrawlers. They've got like big long legs and little heads, and kind of closer to the ones in the second video. That the theory that they found these wooden carvings, that these things have been around for a really long time.
Interesting.
Which maybe sorry, Andrea, when did the second video come out?
So I don't think I saw like an exact date for the Yosemite one. I know it was like 2010 is when the Fact or Faked did their episode. And I know the two videos came out pretty close together.
Because like the first one's from the 90s, right? Like 90.
Yeah, I think so.
Or something.
He had it recorded on a VHS tape. Like his home security system was very 90s.
Yeah, it wasn't digital or anything.
Because I wonder, like,
how do you edit that?
Yeah, because I wonder, like, if maybe these could have been like, okay, so say these are real, right? And say there are these like weird creatures with 2 legs and no arms and whatever, and maybe like once they recognized that technology could pick up what they looked like, that's when they stopped like coming out into the open, or
Ooh,
like
that's
they
an interesting
adapted some
theory.
way.
Or maybe they
It's
just
like-
like
so
changed
They're
form.
smart.
Ooh.
Like if they thought
There you
that
go.
they were mimicking us and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
humans sort of look like this is the best we can do with our means. So like we'll try and imitate them, but then like they realized we were onto them. We're like, what are these walking pants doing around? And now they look like something else.
It'd be really funny if they were like watching us and they're like, yes, this is how they look. And that was it. Just walking pants.
Yeah, it's like a really bad depiction or like a kid or something drawing like a self-portrait. It's like, whoa, what the fuck is that? But yeah, no, for sure.
I like that theory.
Yeah, who knows?
Well,
but-
Liz, you might be onto something if they're getting smart about being
Yeah.
watched, because they may have moved around a bit. Outside of Fresno and Yosemite, there was also a sighting in 2004 by a 17-year-old in Manchester, Indiana, which apparently, after going too deep down a Google rabbit hole, Indiana is a hotbed of paranormal activity.
Huh.
Interesting.
Which I would not think of, but some motorists saw this thing on the side of the road, and the way they described it as not being human, very, very much resembled the Nightcrawler. The only difference is this one was over 6 feet tall.
Ugh, no.
Oh, no.
Not as cute as the 2 to 4 feet little guys. we
Yeah.
talked about.
That would be.
That's some Slender Man stuff right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I don't
Right?
like that.
Yeah.
So it evolves in 2014. A 60-year-old, or 60-year-old former Marine and his wife were driving near Carmel, California, and they came over a hill and saw a 7-foot tall gray creature.
Oh my god.
That very much resembled the Fresno Nightcrawler, and went out. Said the alien ran across the road and into the woods approximately 10 feet away from his truck.
Whoa.
Oh, can you imagine seeing it run with those crazy long legs?
No.
So maybe it's moving around. Maybe they're getting bigger.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it's like they think we're cute. Look at all this artwork. We have to get
Yeah.
bigger. Oh my god.
We are not cute.
We are not cute. We are scary. Oh my god. I would be terrified if I saw something like that in front of my car. You know, like
Yeah.
oh.
Do you get out of your car if it's like standing?
hell no. No.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Maybe crack
Yeah.
a window. Can I help you?
See, this is I can't be the final girl because I'm probably gonna be like, it seems okay.
Oh god, no. Okay, so I had like a really funny and strange incident happen to me one time when I was driving home from work. And it had been a long day, mind you. So like I'm stuck in traffic. I'm going through like this back alley, this back road, and I see all this stuff turned over, and there was like a couple of barricades, but I didn't see anybody. And then all of a sudden there was like 20 people coming around the corner, and they were all zombies, like walking zombies. And my brain just like short circuited, and I like froze, and it had like I could tell that I was like processing what I was seeing. I just saw like a group of zombies walk by, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I see, you know, the cameras and stuff, and they were filming Fear the Walking Dead inside Austin. But I didn't know that, and I actually drove onto set accidentally because
Oh my God.
yeah. So like here I am in my car, and like about like literally like 10 to 15 feet in front of me are like 20 or 30 zombies, just like, you know, walking corpses all over the place, and my brain just like turned off for a moment, and I had to like process and compute what was happening. I was like, oh, this is like okay, but I think I would freeze because I clearly did when something was really fucking strange. I like froze and had to think about it, and then I was like, yeah, no. But I don't think I would encounter anything. If I had a safety net, like if I'm in my car or inside, I wouldn't go confront something that like I don't understand. Mm-mm.
Oh man, yeah, and I'm sure they look legit too, right? If they're filming for the show.
Oh
the
yeah,
makeup on there is pretty great.
Yeah, my like literally my brain was like, huh, what? Like I did not immediately think. I watched too many horror films. I did not immediately think like, oh, I'm on a movie set right now. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Because the barricades were not any sort of giveaway to stop.
No. No, it wasn't barricaded for my car because I could drive through it. Like I drove onto the set. So they just
didn't do a good job.
No, it was just like debris was everywhere. So they weren't really it wasn't really like blocked off. It was just like, it was like desolate, like a wasteland. Like there was, boxes overthrown and there was medical equipment on the ground and there was, papers scattered everywhere. And I was like, what the hell? And I had to kind of like maneuver around it. And then I see all these people come around the corner and I had to slam on my brakes and was like, oh my fucking God, like what is happening? So yeah, somehow I got onto set and then like people came running up to me and were like, you can't be here. I was like, yeah, I got that.
Yeah, figured that out real quick.
But can I stay and watch? Yeah.
Like maybe they should do a better job of like
I know.
putting someone like at checkpoints.
I know. It was very, very random, but I learned that right then and there for sure. Like I wouldn't like, I'm not going to jump out of my car and be like, hey, what's this? Like, what's going on? But especially with two huge things of legs, it kind of also reminds me of War of the Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
Those things are scary, but they were more mechanical. I don't really know what these like humanoid cryptids are comprised of. Like, is it mechanical dressed in cloth? Does it actually have like organs,
right?
Like,
and
muscle?
If so, where are they? Does it eat?
Right. Yeah.
What is it?
Like,
so there's a lot of theories on what these things are. Among them, people think they're aliens, pants, obviously, interdimensional or paranormal beings, an undiscovered species. The funniest one I think that I saw was a misidentified gazelle standing upright.
What?
Yeah, that is a legit theory that you'll find online, that somebody tried to film based on the way, I guess, if a gazelle like rears up and stands on their legs. I don't know. This is the internet we're talking about. Or a primate with short arms, which would not walk with
shortest arms ever.
But, yeah.
My favorite theory is pants.
Yeah.
I like pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sentient pants for the win.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're figuring out what they might be. I like the interdimensional paranormal beings a little more than an alien or an undiscovered species, because there are theories that tie into the Native American carvings, and even though there has been no direct lore come from those carvings, the fact that they look so much like them, and there's also been Native American legend that near Fresno, tribe members have said that there are beings that have always lived on Earth and sort of like protect the Earth, and they're here to rebuild the connection between human beings and natural surroundings and be peace bringers, which kind of makes sense with their actions. They've existed for generations, but then you wonder, like, why aren't they being seen anymore? Did they give up on us?
I don't blame them if they did.
I would give up on us.
I mean, honestly,
yeah. It's like, this is too much effort. They're lost cause.
They're like, these people just don't believe that the world is burning, so we're gonna peace out now, I guess, because, like, what else can we do here?
Right.
Find some other planet to inhabit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, or if they are some kind of cool, like, earthy spirit beings, maybe they just didn't want us to see them anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't deserve this site.
Because, like, there's no, like, UFOs ever seen with them. They're not, like, abducting anyone. There's no probing going on. So I don't think they're aliens.
Well, they could be. What if they were just, like, rovers? Like, you know, like how we went to Mars and we're gathering things. What if they were just here to gather and collect information and they weren't meant to, like, engage so much?
Honestly, that's a really good theory.
Kind of like a watcher.
Right. You know, like they're scouts. And they come here and they just check out, you know, the land, you know, they don't really like observe maybe even people. Well, one of them was like kind of at the, you know, was in public, I guess, a little bit. But I guess if you think about it too, like their locations were all kind of different, right? Like one was more urban and one was more remote, like in like the natural or the national forest. So maybe they're just gathering information and they got what they needed. They didn't need to come back multiple times, or maybe more than like 2 to 4.
That's very true, because the one video was in the guy's backyard. The other one was out like in the middle of the forest. And then the like Indiana one was like just on the side of a highway. So they were all like pretty different locations.
I don't know. That's one theory that I was thinking about when going over, like, researching everything. Because you would have to, right? Like, if you were some sort of, like, being and you wanted to explore another life form or another planet, you would have to do that in a meticulous way, and you'd have to figure out how to do it. And maybe they thought pants were, like, could blend in if someone did see them, like, you know, like they kind of looked like humans in a way. But yeah, I don't know. There was I was reading a Reddit thread about different ideas about this too, and one person was saying how it could be vacation, like, for aliens, like it's just kind of hilarious but ridiculous, like the little pants and like the mama pants and the baby pants, like they just go on vacation to like Earth, you know, and this is one place that you can go, and it's just like, I guess, like cultural experience, take, you know, intergalactic journey or vacation.
I actually love that idea as well.
I just had this amazing image of like a travel ad in another country for come visit sunny Fresno, California.
Yeah. It's like, I want to go to Fresno, California in Earth and, you know, put on these pants and...
Well, yeah, it's interesting, like, that they haven't been spotted in any other countries.
Right.
Like, so they've basically only been spotted
there
here.
was a guy in Poland, but he had no proof.
Is it just like,
proof.
Hey, come see the shit show that is planet Earth?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or America,
that
specifically, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, and like,
because I mean, if I was an alien, I'd want to go more than just America. I mean, I'd be like, let's go check out like some other. I mean, I feel like America would be like not my top number one spot to go. I mean, like, there's so many like natural wonders in so many other places. Although, to be fair, maybe if they go to the natural wonders, they just don't get spotted because there's not as many cameras or something. I don't know.
That's true.
But maybe they don't know that, because it makes me think about movies like The Explorers or a Galaxy Quest, where America has so much content that's emitted into like space with, you know, TV shows and, you know, movies, and like we produce so much digital content. Like maybe they're looking at everything that we make and they're like, oh, well, that's from this place. Like they generate all this, you know, power and electricity and entertainment. We should go there versus other countries. Have y'all seen those movies before?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I loved Explorers when I was a kid.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, Marisa, I was just kind of thinking, like, and we're the ones like shooting shit into space constantly and like sending out signals. So yeah, it makes sense that they would come here.
You can have a space funeral.
A space funeral?
Yeah.
Count me in for that.
Well, and we're always trying to like go to space too. Like, you know, that's like a getaway. Can't celebrities like sign up right now to go live on Mars in a few years or some shit? Like,
yeah, if you have enough money, you can.
Why would you want, like, I feel like, why would you want to, though, like, unless there's a civilization up there? Like, it's like, I feel like, you know, after quarantining, it's like, I have recognized that I really like human beings. So, like, it sucked to, like, go force yourself to quarantine on Mars, basically, because you'd have, like, what if you didn't like anybody up there? It's like, you can't just easily travel back to Earth. Like,
no, can't just go away. I think it'd be interesting just to go, but I don't know that I'd want to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it take like 5 years to get there with technology, even when it's really good?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
thank you.
Stuck.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe the pants.
I'll stay here for now.
Maybe the pants, like, they don't actually have to have a ship. they like start out huge, and so they can walk through space to get to Earth, and then they slowly become smaller as they approach their destination. So that's why, like, at first somebody saw like a 7-foot one and a 6-foot one, and then they got, you know, they're maybe like the other ones were a little shorter.
That's
like
my
that.
favorite theory so far. I just am like a giant pair of pants just walking through space.
That's some,
Like literally walking towards
Literally,
the
it's
Earth
just
and
like
getting tinier.
yeah. That's like something Douglas Adams would write. I love it. So funny.
There's just something about them that are so chill
Yeah.
that I can't like imagine them as anything they're doing. If they're walking through space, if they're, I don't know, they're just like so relaxed and just like
Yeah.
casually strolling to their destination.
So, question for y'all. If you saw pants just like hanging out in midair, like while you're walking through a national forest, like if you were in Yosemite and saw just like a pair of pants, like they were very inviting and comfortable looking and nice, would you try to put them on and step into them?
I don't know.
I feel like I'd at least ask consent first. Like, can I wear you?
What if you did and you like
you're
were
up.
teleported across like intergalactic like community, you know?
It'd be like, why are these pants here? Whose pants are these? I would try to find their owner.
Well, and
I mean, I feel like as someone that's definitely seen their fair share of like random clothes on the middle of the
Right.
street or whatever,
Yeah,
I can't
right.
say that I've ever wanted to put them on.
no.
But if they were just like standing upright and like, you know, very inviting and kind of cute,
It's look really soft.
looks real soft. Oh man, I'd probably
I think
dare
the
someone
pants
else
would have
to
to
do
ask
it.
me. Like if the pants
I
were
dare
like,
you to put
hey,
those pants
you want
on.
to put me on? I'd be like, okay, I'll put you on.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We have
I
so
don't
many
know.
ideas. Where are all the like TV shows and cartoons about the Fresno Nightcrawlers?
Yeah.
We need
Honestly, there should
cartoons.
totally be like a cartoon about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a really cutesy, like spooky, like the people that did Over the Garden Wall need to make like a Fresno Nightcrawlers cartoon.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. How do we contact them?
Oh no. Should write a
Let's
letter.
We just did. Boom.
Tweet at them.
I think it would be adorable. I would
Yes.
definitely be into it, and little kids would totally be into it too. And you could have like, you could market it. You'd have little,
You sent that,
you know?
Andrea, early on you sent that. I wish I could remember. I wonder if I can find it in Slack. That YouTube video, I think it was you, Andrea, of it was like
Yes.
3 minutes long, and it was like a lonely little nightcrawler.
It's like my favorite
Aw.
thing. So yeah, and I should have made note. I'll see if I can pull it up in my YouTube. Yeah, so it was like a student project, if I remember right, and she made this like animation, and like it was kind of cute and kind of sad at the same time.
Yeah.
because like we'll have to post the link on
Oh, wait,
the episode.
I think I
so
found
people
it.
can watch it.
But yeah,
did you?
maybe. Let me see.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite piece of art that I've found that people have made of the Nightcrawlers.
Yeah, I think it's just Fresno, Nightcrawler. And it's
Yes.
Memo Maya.
That's it.
Maymomaya is the creator. But yeah, we'll definitely post a link. It's like a 2-minute video. And it's, yeah, especially now after reading it, or after reading about the Fresno Nightcrawler, it's so much, it hits different.
It's like maybe they just want friends, but we're scary humans
Right.
because we're mean. So
They do seem
Oh,
like
man,
they
I
would be
love-
lonely. Like friendly, but also
Yeah.
really like Casper, the friendly ghost. Like always, they just
Exactly.
want to like be fulfilled. You know, get some legs in there and meet some people.
YouTube comments, Fresnos are surprisingly wholesome. Also that, and they're extremely friendly. An Area 51 worker claimed no reports of attacks, care for the young, and overall not a threat.
Oh my
Beautiful
god,
aliens.
I love them.
Oh my god. Also it says, P.S. They're maybe from a swamp-like planet with dense, heavy lakes and forests. and their long flexible legs are what allow them to maneuver through.
Yeah, I read that somewhere
too. That because they were in like swampy areas, that's why they have such long legs, so they can navigate around.
Yeah, it's kind of like those stilts, those like birds that are on stilts and like, what is it, Dark Crystal?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like they have to have those stilts to walk around the marshes.
You know what else it made me think of was the Wheelers from Return to Oz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when I
didn't even think of that.
When I first saw that video, and I was just like, oh, they're adorable. Like, oh, never mind, they're really creepy the way they walk, and it just made me think something could be like folded over into itself, or like maybe it opens up in a weird way. I don't know.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah. Now I'm scared of them.
But yeah, I think another reference like in the movie world would be like, because in Mad Max Fury Road, when they go to visit the mothers or whatever, like the mothers, I think that's what they're called, whatever, they're visiting like the older women, and there's like, they go through like those kind of like oil, like land, there's like oil spills, or it's not oil spills, but it just looks like mucky, gross stuff. And there's like these people that are on the stilts, like walking through it. It's like a very creepy moment. But yeah, I feel like there could be something to be said about that. I did, when I read that, I was like, okay, I like this concept of like these, because Andrea, I'm kind of with you. I lean more towards the paranormal than I do the alien.
Yeah,
and I like to think of them as like benevolent, like forest creatures that just roam the earth and want the best for us, and we don't do what we're supposed to do.
It reminds me of like a Studio Ghibli, like Miyazaki movie idea, where it's like these like spirits of the earth that are just around, and they're always there.
Disappointed in us.
Yeah, dang it! Stop disappointing them, Earth or America. I don't know. I don't know if they're everywhere.
I think it's Earth. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, even though America does a lot of bad stuff, I would say Earth in general, like there's some other countries that are messing up too.
Humans are awful.
Yeah.
As far as the image in my head, and this is probably just because it's like the time of year, but I picture like Jack Skellington with his arms ripped off. And like, instead of wearing pants, they're just like translucent, like skin flaps that cover like his bottom half. Right? That's scary.
That adds a layer of horror to it.
That's a little bit creepier.
Yeah, it's not actually fabric. It's just like a translucent skin that covers his bones.
Well, and that's like, that really is like, could be, because we don't know if it's fabric. They just look so airy and light that it, I think in our minds, like first looking at it, it has to be fabric, but it could be some sort of skin.
Well, they did.
So do you think they're still roaming around, or do you think they've abandoned us?
No, I think they're still here. I think we just don't get to see them as much. I think they're just tucked away.
I think they're right.
Maybe somehow they can sense.
I don't.
Maybe they have a way of sensing the like technology somehow.
So do you believe the videos, or do you think they were like Photoshop hoax videos?
I don't think they were hoaxes. I mean, even if you had some sort of like glitch in that footage, the way that the trees and the branches are, it's still there. You would see like some sort of breaking, or like the environment around it on top of where like a torso would be isn't compromised. So I don't know how you would fabricate that.
Right. There's something so strange about the way I think that's what's so convincing to me, is just its movements are so unusual. The way it walks, the way it's gliding, but also it's seemingly bending its knees. Like, it just moves so unnaturally, but not in a forced way. Like, it just seems like it's just there. It's always been there.
Yeah, and it's like,
that's one video I watched. They used a cosplayer actually had like werewolf legs, where on the bottom foot, their shin actually goes backwards to their knee, and they built these like stilts that they walk on. And it was kind of, somebody was like, well, maybe they did something like that. But when they filmed it and they put like baggy pants on them, it didn't move the same way. So far you can tell the fake videos, which there are enough out there. But as far as the main two, they definitely look convincing to me.
I think like, first of all, I just think that the first guy seems trustworthy to me. Like, I feel like he genuinely doesn't seem like he was trying to fake something. Like, I think he was just truly weirded out by it. So unless somebody else was trying to like prank him somehow, like we said before, I just don't believe he spent the time trying to figure out how to fake this. Like, so I don't know what he caught on camera, like if it's a creature or whatever, but I do think that he didn't try to create it.
Yeah, and how horrifying would that be if you found something like that? If you saw that on your, home video or like security footage, I would be so disturbed.
Can I honestly just say, I've been wanting to get one of those doorbells or like something just, for peace of mind. But also simultaneously, I am so terrified that it'll like pick something terrible up that I never want to see in my life. Whether it's like a supernatural creature, or do you remember that video of that dude that was just licking a doorbell for like an hour?
Ew.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I have a doorbell and a driveway cam, and so far it's just a lot of DoorDash and moths.
Right. Yeah.
But I will let you guys know the second I get something spooky.
We'll do a whole episode about it.
My friend has some entertaining stuff on her footage. She has like a little raccoon family that are pretty hilarious and adorable. And then like another friend of mine has a little table she set up for squirrels, and it's like a tiny miniature little wooden table that's like the size of a keyboard, and she'll put food up there and watch like squirrels come and fight and like sit at the little like picnic table. Yeah, I mean, we're in quarantine, like people are bored, so
there's only so much for us to do.
I'm having problems with I'm like entertained by squirrels, like someone help me. But it's pretty
Kaleigh, your situation reminds me of a Schrodinger's like spooks thing, where it's like right now there's no way for me to know that there's spooks outside because I don't have a camera. But the minute I put a camera out there, then I can know there's spooks, and then I have a problem.
It's exactly right.
But would they have been there without the camera?
I don't know.
I don't know. We would never know.
I think do it and report back.
All right. I will eventually, I know, because well shit, the other day I was sitting on my couch and I saw my screen door open, and like I just saw the reflection through, like, my house has a sunroom, so you go through the sunroom and then go to my front door, and I saw the screen door like open, and the reflection of it opening, I have a curtain, but it's like you can kind of see light through it, and I looked up and I was like, what was that? And then I saw I almost certain it was a woman, and it looked like her hair was up like in a bun on top of her head, like bend over and do something, and I was like, what the fuck? It was like 11:45 at night, so I waited a minute, and then I went out. I like went and opened my door and looked around, and nobody was there, so I was like, oh great. This is how it starts.
Yeah, you're haunted.
That's really creepy.
Well, I also was like sick and on a bunch of cold medicine and like half asleep, so it could have been like a dream. But I was like, I texted my boyfriend. I was like, I'm pretty sure a person was just at my front door. And then, of course, I was like terrified to go to sleep, but it was fine. Everything was fine. I just turned all the lights on outside of my house and also inside. It was good.
I don't know why the way you describe the woman, like it's like the old gypsy lady from Drag Me to Hell.
Oh God, don't say that.
Sorry.
I've gotten over it.
Just don't let her give you a button and it's fine, okay?
It's fine.
But see, if I had a ring in two ways, I would have known like, oh, it was just like my neighbor doing something, or like, oh, it was that weird gypsy lady.
But then it would be worse because then the ring wouldn't go off and there would be no footage,
no,
and then
you're
you
right.
like see the lady, but she doesn't show up on the camera.
Oh God, I'm freaking myself
It's
out,
even
guys.
So, anybody
maybe-
have any other last thoughts on the Fresno Nightcrawlers?
No, I just I had fun talking about cute little pants guys.
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too.
I feel like we've talked about a lot of very serious things on this podcast, and this was a fun little break and fun
agree.
little chat about cutesy little pants.
And I think
So-
they are
I'm gonna-
friendly, or they mean well. I don't think that they're like a menacing being. I don't get that.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep the image in my mind that they're like Miyazaki
Yeah.
creature spirits of the earth
Mm-hmm.
that are just always around, and sometimes we see them, but mostly we don't.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely voting for they are real and they are friendly. Although I'm not completely convinced they're on the same like plane of reality as we are, because they don't seem to interact much or even realize that we're here. So it might be one of those things like we can see them, but maybe they're in a different dimension than us or something.
They're in a totally other world.
Yeah.
Oh, that adds a whole nother layer of what could be going on.
So, what has you spellbound this week?
The Haunting
Well,
of Bly Manor. Have y'all watched that?
I have
No.
2
No.
episodes left.
Oh my god. I
And
love it.
I really enjoy it, actually.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of reviews that are saying it's like not scary enough or whatever, but I don't know. I'm intrigued by everything that's happening in the story, so
I mean, it's not your typical jump scare horror film, but I mean, that's not what Mike Flanagan or like Henry James, for that matter, is. It's like a gothic ghost story, but it has
Right.
like heartbreak and yearning, and there's this aspect of forgetfulness in there, and like a family component, and lovers torn, and it's just, betrayal. It's just so good. It's subtle, but it's good.
yeah, and there's that whole layer of grief in it too.
Yes, so much
adds that.
grief.
Yeah,
And then, like, some of the aspects that I think are most terrifying personally with ghost stories are like, having your soul just like the fact that you don't know you're dead and you're just like wandering around and, doomed to repeat the same painful memories or the same painful experiences you have over and over and over for eternity. I mean, I find that terrifying personally. And like your soul, and you can't move on or cross over or what have you, and or like you're being haunted by painful traumatic parts of your past, and that plays into the grief component. I mean, plus it's beautiful. It's just like shot. I don't know, I really liked it. I'm watching it a second time around, and it's really cool to see all the like Hill House references and allusions to like Henry James's works and stuff. It's just so good. So that's what I've been, diving into all week.
So, Marisa, is that the one? Is it based on like Turn of the Screw? Is that right, or am I wrong about that?
No, you're right. It's like the Turn of the Screw is the framework of it, but there's also like 4 or 5 short stories of Henry James that it's based off of as well. So if you look at pay attention to like the episode titles, and each episode title is like a callback to a different story of Henry James, but it's all within like the framework of Turn of the Screw, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Mike Flanagan is so fucking good at adaptations. Like they're not straightforward. Like even, I mean, Gerald's Game was pretty straightforward, but how he did with like The Haunting of Hill House, he rewrote the characters and he just made them so much more dynamic and gave them more arcs. I mean, he just really knows how to adapt a pre-existing story. With like Dr. Sleep is a good example too. And so I mean, Turn of the Screw is the main one, but then there's about 4 or 5 others. Yeah.
Nice. So my thing kind of is a couple things. So is Amazon Studios in Welcome to the Bloom House is an 8-film anthology of which I have watched one. I just watched The Black Box, and it is written and directed by Emmanuel Osei Kuffour, and I hope I didn't butcher that, starring Mamadou Athie and Felicia Rashad, and it blew me away. I highly recommend everybody go watch it. It's on Prime right now. But one of my favorite, I don't even know if you'd call him a character actor, Troy James is a contortionist. And he has been seen as the Jangly Man in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. He was Baba Yaga in Hellboy.
Yeah.
He was in one of my favorite shorts that I saw at Panic Fest called Look Twice, which is when I first saw this guy. And he is just absolutely amazing. And he's in it. And I don't want to give any plot points or anything away because it just is so good. So go watch Black Box after you listen to this, like right now.
Gotcha.
Are each of the oh sorry, I have a quick question.
No, go ahead.
Are each of the films you said it was an anthology, are each of them separate, but do they have like an underlying tie between them, or are they just completely like different stories altogether, different directors, like there's no tying thread?
So that is a good question. I don't think there is any thread. I know it was an 8-part Blumhouse thing with Amazon Studios. But
yeah, Andrea, I don't think there's any like connection. I think
Yeah.
it's just like kind of up and coming people,
right,
that haven't
kind of a
necessarily
way to like put their movies out there.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna piggyback off of television and Amazon, and talk about Utopia, which is a new Amazon series that just came out.
Oh yeah.
And okay, so it's kind of weird because it's very like it's about disease and it's about like a pandemic basically, which is very weird that it came out when it came out, but like it clearly was made before, you know, COVID. But the creator of the show is Gillian Flynn, who's from Kansas City.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that.
And so I really have loved, you know, she's the person that did Gone Girl and Sharp Objects and, you know, many other thriller books. And I love how she creates stories. I've enjoyed basically all of her stories. And so I've only watched 2 episodes of the show so far. It's about a comic book called Dystopia. And basically someone has uncovered that they found like the continuation of the story called Utopia. And Dystopia like predicted all of these diseases before they happened. And so now people are like, oh my gosh, now that we found Utopia, maybe we can like uncover what's to come kind of thing.
Interesting.
But it has like an amazing cast. Like John Cusack's in it. Then Rainn Wilson just showed up in the show. Hold on. I'm going to mess up her name if I don't. Jessica Roth from Happy Death Day, the lead actress in that. She's in it.
That was a fun movie.
It was super fun. And then Desmond Borges, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, but I really like him as well. He was in You're the Worst. It was a show that was on FX for a while. And then Sasha Lane from oh my gosh, why am I forgetting what the frick it's called? American Honey. Sasha Lane from American Honey. So there's just, I don't know, I was just very excited. I feel like every episode, like of the 2, like, cause people just kind of pop in. Like I had no idea John Cusack was in the show and then he showed up and I was like, holy crap.
Nice.
So it's been fun to watch, but I will warn you that it is kind of weird to watch because it is a lot about pandemics and stuff. And so it's been getting some like flack for being too on the nose right now, and they were like, maybe you shouldn't have put this out. But I mean, I'm very against like censoring fiction and content. So I mean, it's a weird coincidence. Don't get me wrong, but like, I also don't think that there's any malice in like the creation of it. So
Cool.
Interesting. So mine is a film that originally played at Panic Fest. But I had a chance to show it to someone who had not seen it this weekend. It's the film Extraordinary.
Oh,
Have you guys seen that?
So good.
Yeah.
It's
It's fun.
Will Forte and Claudia Doherty's in it as well. Like the whole cast is just amazing. but it's an Irish film about a woman who grew up with a father who could, had supernatural abilities, talk to ghosts, deal with possession, and she tries to stop doing it and then meets a man who needs her help, and it's so fun. It's like a perfect comedy horror movie. I think I've watched it 3 or 4 times this year already since I saw it at Panic Fest, just because I keep showing it to people that I know will just get a kick out of it and thoroughly enjoy it. And so far I haven't been wrong. But I know you can watch it on Amazon. It's free on Showtime if you have like a Showtime subscription. But you can get it on Amazon. I just bought it. I think it was $7.99 to buy it in HD on Amazon Prime. So
It's not bad at all.
no, I was like, I'm definitely gonna watch this movie again. It's perfect. I love it.
I have to back that one up. I'm not normally a big comedy person. I know that sounds weird. I do like funny stuff, but that movie I walked into blind, and I'm really glad I did, because I probably wouldn't have otherwise. And it was super, super good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've again, like I said, I've watched it a few times now, and it still just holds up to. It's charming. The acting is awesome. The story is just a fun, like campy horror possession movie.
And you know what? If you can't relate to her eating yogurt in her Spanx in the kitchen, then I don't know what to tell you.
Her sister leaving that message about, oh, is it lasagna for one again? It's just yeah, it's great. Would recommend that.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think that is it for this. Up next, we are going to be exploring the abandoned town of Roanoke. And if you've liked what you've heard, interact with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Black Magic Coven. Be sure to use the hashtag Black Magic Coven. Rate, review, and subscribe on Anchor FM, Spotify, Apple iTunes, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And this concludes the gathering of the Black Magic Coven.
You're listening to a Downright Creepy original on the Crickets Podcast Network.